Sup, my dudes? Morlin here. Today we're going to talk about Classic and Shadowlands, and if I'm going to be playing Shadowlands and whatnot. Um, Hopefully, some of you guys care what my opinion is on this. So without further ado, we'll just hop right into it. And we're also going to be talking about kind of the release drama that's going on with Classic and Shadowlands that's going on as well. So, again, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And so lately, last Tuesday, 2 days ago, I think it was, the 10th, the pre-patch kind of moved from, like, Phase 1 pre-patch to Phase 2 pre-patch. Phase 1 would be, like, new talents and skin tones and hair colors and cuts and whatnot, the barbershop bullshit. And kind of like the Azurite gear realignment and with the new specs and whatnot. And so that was pretty much all they added a couple weeks ago, back in October, when they said pre-patch is now live. On the 10th is when they added all the quests for the pre-expansion event. And I logged on. I had finished all my raids in Classic, and I logged over to see, just hop on and see what's going on. And it's just something I had zero interest in playing, I have to say. I was doing the quests. I didn't even finish all the pre-expansion quests. I didn't think they were that good. They do have some issues with it where stuff's being tagged for some reason, be it, if it was Classic, it makes sense, but with retail nowadays, like, as long as it wasn't another faction, it shouldn't have been tapped. So hopefully they can figure that out. Takes a while to do some quests, because you have to kill zombies that are invading, for example, Darkshire and whatnot. So hopefully they fix that. But other than that, I was playing it, and I was just like, this is not fun at all. I was not enjoying it. I think part of the problem is with layering and cross-realm stuff and whatnot, there's no community. And I know this kind of goes back to even Legion, but I guess it just, playing Classic for so long and not playing retail as much, coming back to retail, a lot of those shortcomings are easily present in it. And for example, I logged on in Stormwind on retail, and half the people in there are from different servers. And so, think about it, like, right now in Classic, if you log on, you'll see, the try-hard, I got all the Baron Rivendare's mount, the Raptor mounts from Zul'Gurub, etc. You see, or the guys who are full tiered gear, or, best in slot, you see them around, and then you log off, you come back, you actually go outside, get some fresh air, and you come back, and they're still playing. They're still sitting on that mount right in front of the auction house. You see the same people every single time. With retail, I logged on, and I saw one set of people, and then I logged off, went to the bathroom, ate some food, got fresh air, etc., whatever. Logged back on, it's a completely different set of people. And I feel like that you can't really build community when you don't see your community. Like, you log on, you're getting a reroll of everyone who's in that zone at the time, or that layer at the time. And that just kind of made me depressed a little bit, and kind of was like, oh, this kind of sucks. And so I was like, whatever. I hopped on my mount. I was going to play alone like I always do in retail. Don't need a group for anything. And if you do, you just hit one hotkey, hit looking for group, and then you drink, eat some food, whatever, as you put somebody on follow, and you get all the stuff you need from your dungeon. There's no effort anymore. But with that being said, I went and flew over, started doing the pre-quests, and I do have to say the game is much faster compared to Classic. But what I noticed is I was doing some of the quests. I went back to Stormwind to sell some crap, and I looked at my bag and was like, oh man, I have 100,000 gold, which actually I don't think is that much. I really don't know if that's a lot or not in retail. It's probably like $15 worth of gold, compared to the current WoW token price. And then to online, buying gold is probably about $12 on the illegal market. But I have like 100,000 gold, and you go in the auction house, and anything is like 80, 90, 100, 120,000 gold. And so it's just, gold is just not, everything just seemed arbitrary, I guess. Gold's arbitrary. People in the game are arbitrary. The difficulty level, unless you're going a step beyond where most people are doing, coming home from work, relaxing, playing some WoW, etc. Um, Everything in that game is really not needed. Like, you don't need gold, you don't need people, you don't need the flight paths, you don't need half the game. When it comes to classic, like, you need, there could, the wild growth, cape for healers. You need that, and so that's 400. At least on my server, it's 400 gold. Um, and 400 gold. If you go like on those WoW websites, that's like 10, 15, $20. Like, I have 100,000 gold now, and that's equivalent to 400. And so, like, gold is rare and needed in Classic. People are, I won't say rare, but grouping with them could be rare. Grouping with people could be, potentially rare and hard to come by. Everything in that game, you kind of need to rely on all aspects of the game. Like, you need the flight masters, you need the gold, you need the people, you need actual gear to halfway be decent. You can have purchase gear when you boost your character and do just as much damage in most situations. Like, if you're doing a looking for group, you can be fully geared or crap geared. The instance is going to be cleared, no problems. You invite a noob to Dire Mall, you're dead. Like, that's what's crazy. And so, I mean, I can go and contrast that more and more. But then where it leads me to kind of really talk about, though, is Shadowlands. It comes out in 2-3 weeks or so, the 23rd, I think it is. And playing the pre-patch, I was like, this is boring. Because everything you do, you're other than collecting things for your achievements, your mounts, literally, the game just become a collecting game. And so everything's just kind of boring. And I just had zero fun playing it. And I don't really know if I'm going to actually stop playing Classic, stop progressing through raid tiers and gearing up my characters. I got a late start, and I played for a little bit, and then I went to Call of Duty for a few months. So I didn't really get back into Classic until about February, March. Pretty much until the world shut down. As you can kind of see my YouTube videos, when I kind of started transitioning to Classic. So I actually just got my level 60 like 2 months ago. So I have a lot of stuff to do and catch up. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to stop that investment in Classic to play a game that just doesn't seem that fun. Where you'll be done. I feel like as a casual player who comes home from work, in the afternoon, I don't see myself pushing more past dungeon gear or whatever, in reputation gear. I don't see myself, or maybe even raid finder here and there, but even then, there's no challenge in it. There's really nothing for me, and at least in current WoW. And I'll give Shadowlands a try. I think I just don't know if I'm gonna stop playing Classic to do so. And that kind of makes me want to kind of go into like someone who's, I would say, kind of a casual plus character kind of player. I think it's a good way to put it. I invest the time in the game, but it's not my sole focus. And I don't want to put anyone down, and I'm not. But not sole focus. I'm not working from home where I can play all day. And so I'm not a hardcore player where I'm playing 8+ hours a day. I'm playing between 2 to 6. 6 rarely. If I get home and don't have to make dinner and whatnot, I would say that's a 6 day. But most days between 2 and 4 hours. Where there's some people playing 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours. So with that being said, and maybe because I got a late start, and this we're gonna kind of gloss over, investing time in the Shadowlands, investing time in the Classic, and then kind of also incorporate the release time, release dates of this content. And also a little bit of BFA. I'll just give you my timeline and kind of how I see this, and maybe it can relate to you, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But I get home. I'm in California, so I get home around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. From work. And when I get on, let's say let's do BFA currently. When I was playing BFA when I got home from work at that time, I'd log on. I'd go to the Rust Bolt place. What the hell is it? The Rust Bolt place. I forget. I'm brain farting right now. Mechagon. I'd go to that Mechagon Island bullshit. I'd go do my daily quests. Then I'd fly over to Nagitar, do my daily quests. Then I would go back to either Coltiris or Zoldalar and do the world quests there. and then I would see what time it is, maybe make dinner. And then once I was done, I would start working on my weekly challenges, then do my Dungeon Finder challenges, and then I'd log off. And the next day, I'd do the same thing. And the next day, I'd do the same thing. And eventually, actually, I got decent gear. I got, raid level gear, even though I never raided, because I got the power-ups. But after that, after about 3 weeks, I'm like, okay, I'm over my Paladin. I'm going to go now make a Warlock and do the exact same thing. And then 3-4 weeks later, I make another character. And so right now on BFA, I have 12 max level characters. All of them are raid level geared, not like ready. It's ready, so I can hop into a raid and it should be geared enough. I'm not like heroic level. But with that being said, and that got so boring. I just felt like, okay, in about 3 weeks I'd be making another character. Okay, in about 2 weeks I'd be making another character, and I didn't like that. And what's different about Classic? So I log on. Okay, let's do a timeline about Classic. I log on. I check the auction now, so check my stuff because I actually need goldness. And then so I'll either go grind some gold to buy flasks and potions and upgrades for raids, or then I'll have I'll have to grind to get raid stuff ready for raids. Level up cooking, level up fishing, actually work on professions because professions actually mean something in Classic. And again, I did get a late start, so maybe this timeline's a little bit different. And so I'm going to start glossing a little bit into the timeline of when releases are and kind of show you why I think, kind of put my 2 cents into the drama that's going on with the release dates and kind of incorporate that to the rest of the video. So right now, Naxxramas in Classic drops, I think, November 23rd. Let me just confirm that real quick on my computer. It's announced for December 3rd. Sorry, I got confused. December 3rd is when Naxxramas is being released. November 23rd is when Shadowlands is released. Okay. So, again, because I did get a little late start in Classic, I'm still having to level up all my secondary professions, first aid, fishing, etc. I need a gold grinding character, so I'm leveling up a mage. So I have plenty of stuff I actually have to get accomplished before Naxxramas hopefully comes out. That doesn't feel, I'm going to make a word up, choristic. Like, chory, I guess. Bunch of chores. Where, and if Shadowlands drops the 23rd, that means if I were to stop playing Classic, I would divest my time from that and start playing Shadowlands. But and because of that, I'm not doing Classic, so I'm not doing my professions, not getting gold, not buying the flasks, not getting the materials I need to do, not getting the resistance gear that I need, not getting the, different sets of gear for different fights, etc. All that kind of stuff. And so, come December 3rd, or December 3rd, that's 10 days, plus or minus 10 days from Shadowlands launch. I'm going to then shift back to Classic to do Naxxramas. But so if I had enough time to invest in both games at the same time, that's one thing, but I don't. And so I have to choose, am I going to even do Naxxramas or am I going to play Shadowlands? And if I go over to Shadowlands and start gearing my characters up, then I'm not gearing for Naxxramas. So if I do log over, unless I do get a group for Naxxramas, I'm going to be the lowest one on the totem pole. And then unless I do start getting better at Naxxramas, start actually progressing through and whatnot, I'm now losing progress on gearing my character in Shadowlands because come December 15th, which is 2 weeks after Naxxramas drops, Raid Finder Wing 1 starts, and I'm pretty sure that's when raiding starts as well, the first wing of Castle Netharia. So you have 2 weeks to, if you have enough time, perfect, to invest your time into it, but most people don't, and I think that it's sad because a lot of people have been wanting to play Classic because Naxxramas, no one ever did because they screwed up and they announced Burning Crusade before they even put out Naxxramas. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to even do Nax. I'm just going to kind of, go into hybrid mode and not push too hard doing Naxxramas when BC's right on the corner. And they're kind of doing the same thing now. Why are you going to invest in one game over the other with the raids? They honestly, AQ it was released a bit ago, but wasn't, I don't think, too long ago. I think if they did Nax January 1st, would have been a much better time because you're going to have the lull of AQ. And so you can kind of promote the Shadowlands run between, you're going to have your hardcore people or been people who've been playing AQ since the gates opened, get to be geared and everything. And they're like, okay, I don't need to keep doing AQ because luckily in Classic, once you have a piece of gear, you don't need to keep running a piece of gear because it's not going to upgrade. So once you're fully geared, you don't really need to be doing that raid. So you can hop over to Shadowlands and start gearing your character up. And so if you release Nax, the first, you could have your Shadowlands character geared up, ready to go, run Nax, and then maybe start dropping some of the raids for Shadowlands. There's no rush. Drop the raids, maybe first week of February or third week of December, or January. And so you're just giving people time to invest in both, because right now, with the schedule right now, so let's go through it. November 23rd, Shadowlands drops. December 3rd is when Nax drops. 8th and 15th is when Normal and Heroics and Raid Finder Wing 1 starts. January 5th is when Wing 2 starts. January 19th is when 3 starts, and then February 2nd is when Raid Finder 4 starts. And so that's right. I mean, those December dates are right next to Nax. And I think it's a disservice to WoW and Shadowlands. You're hurting both communities by doing so. And so hopefully that kind of explains kind of why I'm probably going to just continue with Classic. I'll probably play Shadowlands a little bit for the channel, but I don't see myself investing too much time into Shadowlands. We'll probably stay in the Classic. At least for the first bit. I'll most likely be behind in Shadowlands when I do get bored of it. Because, Classic does have an end date. It has an expiration date. And if they decide to release release BC, then that's one thing. But I don't think Classic Plus is going to happen, because they're probably going to ruin it. And so this will be the first time where, Classic does have an expiration date. And kind of where Blizzard goes from there is one thing. But because there's an expiration date, you kind of have a timeline to work with Shadowlands. So stop stacking it and kind of spread it out and do both of them a service. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed sitting here for 17 minutes, me talking about Classic and Shadowlands and BFA a little bit. Hopefully my thoughts were pretty straightforward. Nothing's written down or anything, so I kind of just off the top of my head. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that, and hope to see you in the next video.